Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another awesome episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. I'm your host, That Ocean Crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 4 continents down, 2 more to go. No cap, straight facts. The worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. Definitely not about me. You see, we're welcoming back a guest who has the unenviable job of actually making some of those tough calls in professional wrestling, more specifically professional wrestling matches. He determines what's a DQ, what's a victory by pinfall, what's a double count out, what's a no contest, and he does that with death matches as well. Everybody, welcome to the show, Oregon Pro Wrestling graduate, straight out of the PNW, Bradley. How you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, welcome. Hey, thank you. Thanks for bringing me back on. I'm great.
No problem,
Having
man.
fun.
No problem. We're always open to welcoming back guests, man. That's
Yeah.
we're all we're always open to that. And as a matter of fact, our first it's funny our first season premiere, our season premiere this season. We actually welcomed back some guests we had on a little over a year ago. So yeah, it's always great to have alumni guests back, man.
Yeah, I think we talked right after or before Mania LA last
It was
time we were
before.
on.
I think was it before I can't remember the time is the time those times are fuzzy. I know I talked to a bunch of people from the Pacific Northwest, and then whoop de doo, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm seeing several people. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing Zoe Dubois, Brooke Havoc, Renee Price. I mean
Yeah.
Suna, who does great photos, and it's like wow, like small world.
Yep. Are you going to be at Mania this year?
I don't know those ticket prices, man. Vegas is an expensive place, and I don't know. If I do go, I'll probably just go for the events surrounding it. And if I stay over Mania weekend, I'll probably just go watch Mania somewhere,
Oh, you just got to
late.
come for really just 2 days. You just got to hit the Pandemonium show. You can see me
Mm,
there. I'll be there. And then Prestige
cool,
later that
cool,
night.
cool.
Those are the
Yeah,
two big ones for me.
that Pandemonium show 2 years ago, that was pretty awesome. I got first time. I think it was the guy that his gimmick is a Michael Jackson is like to be that of like Michael
Oh, yeah.
Jackson,
Yep.
Santana Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah,
was
he
on
wrestled
that
Drexel.
one. Yeah, you guys had Kid Bandit on that show. A lot of great people, man.
Yeah, this one's live on TV there. I'm real excited for that opportunity.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So how you been, man? It's been 2 years since I saw you, man. It's been almost 2 years. Like, it's funny because I saw you like at that show. I was like, wait, you're Bradley. I just we talked before. So how's everything been, man?
It's been great. Kind of just taking over the PNW.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
I'm now like the senior ref at most of the places, especially here in Oregon.
Congrats.
Then I started my own. We had a death match company pop up, and I partnered in with that for a while. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, but we got other things happening. We'll talk more about that here. But
Okay.
I got to experience. We got to bring deathmatch wrestling to Portland, so something that hasn't happened on the level of like a big on deathmatch show. I did that. I brought it. We had over almost 350 people at that show, and it was an amazing event. So we're gonna see what happens, but unfortunately, like I said, that show had to end under one of the partners. He had some personal issues that he has to attain to with his health and life. So, that comes first and foremost before wrestling
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, of
So
course.
he's stepping away. And then we are gonna allow me to do other avenues of things. But no, I've just been reffing it up and hanging out with my friends, um building all the weapons, doing all the fun stuff.
Awesome. That's definitely cool to hear, man. Yeah, you guys had a promotion. I like the logo and everything, and I was hoping to get a T-shirt. It was a TPW Timber Pro.
Yeah, that was the
I
one that
think
I
that was.
started with a bunch of friends. That one's no longer around. That was a
Oh, damn.
very much a trial and error company. Um, but it was fun. That was a fun experience.
Yeah, from the looks of from the way it looked, I was like, this promotion is gonna be a great one. You know, you guys had a tournament coming up, and then unfortunately, you guys had to take a hiatus. Hope everybody's doing good, and
Yeah, I don't know what'll happen with that one. That one might come back. It might not. Um, but no, I've just been living the life. Repping all over the place. I've kind of taken a break. The last year and a half from like traveling as much.
mm,
So I haven't been traveling. So it's also been nice. It's been nice to be able to work, but I'm working every weekend. We have shows every single weekend, it seems like. So it's
wow.
just constant.
I'm with all this stuff that Derby's doing with I'm glad that they're under, I guess you could say, new management or whatever you want to call it. They're cooking right now, and it's really great. It smells good,
Hmm.
but and they're planning on there are rumblings, no pun intended, to the Royal Rumble, but there are rumblings of them trying to get WrestleMania to over to London, which it works out kind of good, kind of bad, because the revenue, people fly from all over the world to
Hmm.
go to WrestleMania, as well. I met a guy from the Netherlands who my first WrestleMania I went to, he was at a Ring of Honor show, and he was all the way from the Netherlands, and he was there for wrestling. This past weekend, I was in Indianapolis for the Royal Rumble, and I met a guy who was from Germany. We were talking about the wrestling scene over there, WXW, and about certain wrestlers and everything. And he was over there for the Royal Rumble, and it's great in a sense because one, it's going to start earlier, so by the time it's dinner time, WrestleMania is over. Okay, time to see what's for dinner over here in America. Maybe go get something at McDonald's or something, or a steakhouse. You know,
Right.
but it's bad because it's taking, and this, Brad. Everybody, like, every day, I would like to say there are like 4 or 5 6 shows running within that 24-hour period every day leading up to WrestleMania.
I worked 17 shows in just 3 days.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is, and for those of you watching from London, this is no slight to y'all. I love y'all over there in London. I was just there last year. Y'all are awesome, by the way. I'm looking at the money aspect of it. Like, would they be able to fill those dates like we do over here? That's the big question.
I think it's what for us. I think it would be a chance for the European workers to get bigger opportunities. Um, I think a lot of the American indie wrestlers are going to stay home and watch it later, but
Mm.
I think it'd be good for those guys that are over there in England and France and shit. Yeah, don't get to come over here to our WrestleMania all the time and work those events. They're gonna get to do it with their promotions, and and if we do get to go over there, we're gonna get to work for other promotions that we probably would ever work with. So I think it's a
Yeah,
win-win for anybody. It's just expensive.
honestly,
It's gonna be expensive for all of us to fly over there.
I would love that for the indie wrestlers. Like, if they had a chance to like fly over there just to, the one thing about me as a fan, I know I'm just a fan. I don't know diddly squat about what goes on, out behind the curtain. But one thing I'm happy for is when I say wrestler traveling, I love traveling. I've been to, like, last year I went to 4 countries on 3 continents. And whenever I see a wrestler, traveling to Japan, London, or even if it's just over to Canada, I'm always happy for them because they get to see the world and do what they love to do. Um,
Absolutely.
One thing, but before they go to London, before WrestleMania goes to London, I would like to see, and I'm not just saying this because you're on my show, you're in front of me and everything. I would love to see a WrestleMania in the PNW, whether it's Portland, Oregon, whether it's Seattle, which is lovely city, by the way.
It could
I would
work.
like. Beg your pardon?
It's just cold and rainy at this time of year. WrestleMania season, it's cold and rainy.
Yeah, but I mean, Philly was kind of cold too. Philly was kind of. Let me tell you something. Philly, I went to WrestleMania last year, and night two wasn't bad, but night one, I was shivering in my jacket. I was like, by the time the main event came on, I was like, damn it, Rock, Roman, Seth, Cody,
They would have
just
to. I
finish the
mean, they
match
could.
already. I want to go home. I'm freezing over here.
In Seattle, they could do an outdoor arena by using where the Seahawks play. In Portland, it would have to be inside of a local spot. I just don't think we have the hotel and that kind of set up for it. I think that's why like the Super Bowl hasn't ever been here.
Okay.
I think because even in basketball, we're considered a small market.
Right.
So I feel like they go by market size, and I don't think we would get, but it would be awesome. I believe it has
Mm.
happened in the past. There was a WrestleMania in Seattle.
Yeah, I think WrestleMania 17 was in Seattle.
So I mean, it could happen again.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I would love it. I could go home every night.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a WrestleMania in Seattle because y'all. I could tell you right now, y'all. And I always tell people between the PNW and California, y'all have a wrestling scene that is. I know I'm probably gonna get cussed out by my fellow East Coast, fans over here and slash the wrestlers that work over here. Y'all's scene is like larger than life. You guys have people that I'm sure like Vince McMahon or Triple H now would definitely be looking at very keenly
We have
because y'all.
we have a few wrestlers that get extra work out of for instance, just out of Oregon Pro Wrestling. Amira, she's been on Ring of Honor, AEW. She gets all that extra work. We got Charlie Avell gets out. Did you seen him on TV on Raw? Like a lot of
Wow.
these guys from here are blown up. Like we have a scene in our fan base here. I've worked all over the country. Fans in the Pacific Northwest are hot. They love the storytelling.
Yeah.
Anybody that's never watched PNW wrestling, if you have IWTV, hop on POW Pro Wrestling, hop on DOA Pro Wrestling. Both of those shows put out products that are different, using some of the same local talent, but put on different products. POW is definitely the Memphis of the PNW, very Memphis wrestling style.
Mhm.
DOA is very alternative, grunge. You're gonna see a death match with Drexel. One of my favorites. I absolutely love there. We have the crowd there is so hot. You get to see an amazing Amira as champion, both of those shows. So
Man, yeah. That's y'all's wrestlers. Y'all are like larger than life, man. Like when I look at you know the personalities of several of them, even like with people like Kid Bandit and you have Ishmael Vaughn, and it's like wow, like they're just so larger than life, man. Like you can't help but sit down and pay attention to what's going on in the ring. And that's why I was hoping, even when I went to like Seattle, I was like, wow, this is an awesome place. Like I was hoping, like, man, I hope WrestleMania, they bring a WrestleMania here, man, before they go anywhere else because they definitely deserve it. And it's about time, man. It's about time for another one to be in Seattle.
Vegas is close. Vegas, my round trip was like $150.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So get an
Yeah,
Airbnb with a bunch of my friends. We're living it up. It's gonna be fun.
yeah, man. Definitely hope y'all get it. But yeah, WrestleMania, I don't know. I might do it. I might not. I gotta see because last time I was in Vegas, Vegas was like it was like 6 years ago. It's a very expensive place. Very expensive. I was like,
I can tell you
yeah.
my Airbnb, we found a few of them, $100 a night.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not bad. Not for
I mean,
not for what you're getting. And then a lot of these wrestling shows, from looking at the maps, they're all walking distance. I don't need to rent a car. We don't need to travel. I remember LA was like $40 from one venue to another.
oh, yeah, I remember the last time I went to Vegas. Then again, at that time, I was like, I wasn't too impressed because everybody was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to Vegas and get lit." When I went to Vegas, I was like, I wasn't too like hyped about it. But I think by that time, I'd been in Japan for like, going on 3 years. I lived in New York all these years, and then I lived in Fort Lauderdale, which is right next to Miami. So I was like,
Yeah.
it was just another city with lights. I mean, that was pretty much what it is. And then
Very different than here.
I made the mistake of staying at Circus, which I didn't know any better because I'm thinking, oh, it's some grand hotel, and I'm not gonna bad talk them, but I was like, I could have just stayed at a La Quinta, and because I thought it would have been something like the Hilton, and I was like, yeah, it's great if you like the novelty, but it's not really my thing. It wasn't really my thing, so that was a mistake I made. I was a friend that put me up to that, so I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. But
I'm a
we'll
fan
see.
of the Airbnb. The house, getting a little house, a little cottage is the best.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never tried Airbnbs before. I maybe one day I'll bring myself to do that.
If you
But
look at
yeah,
the price of like hotels to the price of like, you know, for instance, where GCW is performing the whole weekend, rooms are $250, $300 a night.
Ooh,
But it's at a resort.
okay,
The houses we're looking at are a 5-minute drive from the strip.
okay. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. So senior referee now, man. You came a long way, man, from doing your thing in Oregon Pro Wrestling. Which, by the way, y'all got a lot of impressive people over there. Like I'm very impressed. And congrats to your coach who had that who got to get some
Oh,
shine on
Ricky
SmackDown.
from Seattle, yeah.
Yeah,
Oregon Pro is
and
a blessing. Ricky he's incredible. Great, great coach. I highly recommend anybody in the Oregon, Washington area that wants to go to a quality school and learn the fundamentals of being a great pro wrestler. Go there. Anybody that's already a pro wrestler that happens to be coming into Portland, all you gotta do is hit him up and come to the school. You can train with us.
yeah, you got a lot of great wrestlers over there. Amira, we mentioned. You got the business who are based there. Kayla Tandy and Casey Rocks. I know they're together. And then
He was with the Flaming Aces for a while because Spencer got hurt,
right.
and then Caleb turned on Zay and betrayed the Flaming Aces, and that's where we're at with that right now.
This is gonna sound crazy. Maybe I don't know if anybody sees it, but for some reason I looked at Casey, I looked at Spencer. I'm like, y'all look like y'all are brothers. Like, let me find out. Y'all look like y'all could be related.
They're not, but yeah, no, yeah, Caleb. So that there's a whole thing going on there. Yeah. So, but unfortunately, Spencer had a knee injury, had to have surgery, so he was out of action for quite a while. But he just made his grand return last month. So, welcome back, Spencer.
Awesome. So now we got the Flaming Aces versus the business. Okay.
Well, the Flaming Aces, half of the business is still down. He lives in Atlanta, so Caleb has his own new tag partner and his own tag group called Aces High.
Okay.
Most people, they're just bad guys, bad people. They turned on the Flaming Aces. How do you beat up Zay all the time?
Wow. Yeah, and then you got Amira, and I remember there was oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. She used to wrestle as Karai Haim. She's probably gonna kick my ass next time she sees me. I have her T-shirt. Let me see. Let's see. What was Oh, here it is. It came out. Kikayo. That's her shirt right here.
Oh, Kikyo.
Kikyo, yeah. My bad, Kikyo.
Kikyo's been out
Don't beat
hurt.
me up.
She's been out hurt too. She had a knee injury happen.
Yeah, Kikyo was like, she said she wanted to wrestle Amira. I'm like, awesome, yeah, I'm down to see that. Two of y'all are tough. And she's like, she wants to wrestle Naya. I'm like, Kikyo, are you sure you want to do that? Like, she's like, did you see what I did to my last opponent? I'm like, okay, I'm not getting involved in that one. So, senior referee now, man. Like, how does it feel like to get that title to be, pretty much the go-to referee? The one with the knowledge.
Honestly, it's humbling. Just show like hard work pays off. I don't like to brag about it. I just try to do my job. I try to, it's fun because there's new referees coming up, and like getting able to coach them and like learn from like how I was taught, and then like now I get to pass that knowledge on. It's an honor to be able to, I always said that I wanted to give back to pro wrestling because pro wrestling doesn't owe me anything. I owe pro wrestling everything.
Right.
So like my goal is to give back to the newcomers so that I leave pro wrestling in a better place than it was than when I got pro wrestling.
Okay, that's cool.
Pro wrestling's gonna be here no long after we're long gone. Pro wrestling's gonna be here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what can I do so that my legacy lives on? Whatever I can and do in the PNW, that's my legacy.
Awesome. So if you had to if you had to go back in time to when Bradley was now starting out, what advice would you give him? If you could quantum leap back into, let's say, somebody who knew you back in the past. I'm dating myself when I say quantum leap because that was something from back when I was born.
Don't be nervous. You're gonna be nervous. I'm nervous. When those butterflies quit happening, there's something wrong. Just have fun and like we're putting on it's a show, that's what it is. At the end of the day, we're putting on a performance. So do the best that you can and like learn every day from everything you can and just absorb everything.
Awesome.
And continue to take notes. After 100 matches, I quit writing in a book about it. I used to write and I wish I could find it. I was looking for it before the show and go back to like match one. I remember like match one and like writing in the book, like, make sure you don't block the camera. Don't kick the camera out of the cameraman's hand. Make sure that you're loud. Make sure that the person in the 15th row, that child that's never been to pro wrestling, understands you so they can understand what pro wrestling is.
Awesome.
Yeah, take notes. I wish I still took notes.
Awesome. Now you say, they say in pro wrestling you're always learning. No matter how far you are, you're always learning because, like any other industry, pro wrestling is changing. If there was a referee right now in this business who had a classroom that you could sit in and just, get some knowledge from them, or just a little more. I mean, you're pretty much, I'm very sure you know a great amount now. But if there was one referee, whose classroom you could sit in, just to get a little bit more knowledge, which referee or referees would they be?
That's easy, hands down. Charles Robinson.
Okay,
that's my idol. When I was a child growing up watching WCW, he was my favorite. I loved watching him. I always told my dad, one day I'm going to be like little Nate. And, we laughed about that. We laughed about it. And fast forward, here I am, a referee, doing exactly that same thing. So if I could take sit down in any class from any referee, it'd be Charles Robinson. After that would be Mike Chioda.
Okay. I thought you would. I knew you were going to say Charles Robinson. I had a feeling you were going to say Charles Robinson. I thought another guy you would have mentioned would have been Earl Hebner. But Charles Robinson's a great guy. I would say Charles Robinson is one of the most energetic referees I have seen in all my 30-something years of watching wrestling.
The man's been around forever. Like longevity, how does he not hurt? Because like I'm sore. I get done with these shows and I'm sore. Like he's been doing this for almost my whole life, like, as long as I can remember watching wrestling.
Right.
Like I'm talking 96 on. Like he's been there watching it.
My biggest memory I'll have of Charles Robinson is, I believe it was WrestleMania 34. Probably WrestleMania 34. Undertaker versus, I don't know who. I think it was Batista or somebody who was wrestling. It wasn't Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was the next year. But I think it was Edge. It was Edge.
That sounds right.
It was Edge he was wrestling. WrestleMania 34 in Orlando, Florida. I was watching it at the bar, and I'll never forget. Undertaker has the pin, and he has the tombstone on Edge. He's waiting for the pin, but the referee that's assigned to the match is knocked out. And there you see Charles Robinson, little Charles Robinson, running down the ring, and I'm like, that is definitely. He's not a wrestler, but that is definitely a WrestleMania moment right there. Charles Robinson running helter skelter down to the ring to make the count.
Yep.
Yeah, it's instances like that.
Yeah, so that's my idol. That's the role model, the guy that I said I've set out to try to learn as much from and mimic as much as possible.
Right. Another favorite of mine was I know you remember this guy, Randy Anderson, the late great Randy Anderson from the WCW days.
Yep.
I remember the matches he would do with Ric Flair, and Ric Flair would push him, and he would push Ric Flair, and Ric Flair would fall down, and he'd always be like disbelief.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So I gotta ask you, man. Since we're talking about referees, and you mentioned that there are new referees, up and coming in pro wrestling, especially more specifically, the PNW. Who are some referees? I normally ask about wrestlers and whatnot, but like I said, we at Ringside Society, we show love to everybody, because guess what? If it wasn't for you men and women out there in the black and white shirts, guess what? We'd be watching some long, drawn-out battle with two men or two women, or a woman and a man, because they got intergender matches, just throwing haymakers at each other, body slams, to the point where we're like, okay, I'm going home. I can't take this anymore, But we show love to everybody here at Ringside Society. So, who are some referees
I give you a couple.
We should watch out for?
Fidel Martinez. That is like my one of my best friends here. We both went to the Oregon Pro Wrestling School together. He came out after me. So I kind of look out for him. He's like I like to mentor him and give him as much feedback as possible. Damian Meyer, the tattooed ref, he's total opposite of me. I am a tatted referee, but I cover mine up. He does the opposite. He's changing the look of what the referee is in the PNW with his thing. We don't always agree with. I don't agree with it always, but if it works, it works. I love him. He's a great ref. Devin Campbell, one of my best friends. Again, I've been around. We both started around the same time. And then I just worked with a girl named Yuki. I will send you her information. She's about a year in and phenomenal. She has every potential to be on WWE in one day. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know there's some referees like that. Like there's this one referee, and oh my gosh, the way she is so popular now, I probably got to call her agent and pay him or her a consultation fee just to get an answer to if she'll be on Ringside Society. Her name is Scarlett. I forgot her last. Scarlett Donovan is it right?
I love Scarlett. I've worked with her multiple times at Defy. I worked with her over at DCW. She's great. She's a phenomenal referee.
Yeah. I've seen her and I'm like, her popularity has like blown up, and I'm like, man, if I mean, I did ask, I did give her our business card, and I was like, yeah, we'd like to get you on our show one day. We haven't gotten around to contact because we've been having so much go on, but yeah, man, like she's definitely one that is definitely
Phenomenal
great at
ref.
what she does. Beg your pardon?
I said very phenomenal ref.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I went to GCW, yeah, in LA at the Ukraine, and I think it's the Ukraine Culture Center.
Yep, that place
She
is
definitely killed it
amazing,
there.
so beautiful.
Oh yeah, and then I saw her again in Philadelphia. I forgot what the place was, but they had a bunch of GCW shows there. Suna was there too, and she definitely killed it as a referee.
Absolutely.
So I know you say you love death matches, and I could only imagine the thrill of actually, just being in the middle of it all, seeing all the action. You got tables breaking, ladders being thrown, chairs being thrown. You got sometimes even light tubes being, cracked over other
Lots
people's
of light
bodies.
tubes.
They right?
Lots of light tubes.
Yeah, lots of light tubes. But what are some other matches that you enjoy refereeing? Maybe not as much as deathmatch. I know that's your thing, but what are some other matches that you enjoy refereeing?
Tag team matches. I am a multi-man, just like the matches. Like I just did one on DOA, and if you watch it, there's like Jaden, Abigail, Rebel Kel, Matt Brannigan. That dude right there, Matt Brannigan, we could talk about him for hours. I absolutely love him. Best thing that's happened to the PNW is Matt Brannigan moving here. All of these were in this match. The Hero Weirdo, Randy Myers. And I absolutely love those multi-crazy matches that things are going everywhere because my mind is always going everywhere. It works for me. I love the multi-man.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Those are definitely fun as well. So, you're doing your thing as a referee. What is next for Brad Lee
Well,
in
I guess
professional
this is the
wrestling?
perfect time we can exclusively break the news to you. So, like I said earlier, there was a deathmatch company I was part of with that it worked, but it had things happen and with the owner, and he shut down the promotion. So I decided that deathmatch wrestling doesn't need to die today in Portland. So I've always had this idea of like I'm gonna do deathmatch wrestling in Portland. So I've officially decided that I'm going to open Death of Portland Extreme. And we will be doing our first show coming up here very soon.
Awesome. Congrats, man. Congrats on that, man. Portland, y'all lucky. Y'all, man. I wish I was in Portland right now, man. I would definitely.
So we'll be live. It'll probably either get live streamed on IWTV or live streamed on YouTube.
I will definitely, make it a thing. Matter of fact, remind us, hey, ringside, we got our debut show. I will definitely tune in, and make sure we watch it, man. If I was in Portland right now, I mean, if I was in Portland when that was happening, I would definitely be there with a nice box of Voodoo Donuts, just
Yeah,
enjoying the
you
show.
maybe you'll just have to come out. I'll send you the date as soon as I get it. I've actually reached out to the venue. We did a no ring show there recently. No ring death match, and it was phenomenal. If you want to watch it, you can go to Pacific North Death's IWTV account, and you can watch that show there. But they loved it. The venue loved it so much. I know Portland sold out for it. So I reached out to them, and I'm gonna try to run there again and do this no ring deathmatch shows.
I've been meaning to go to Portland, Oregon for a bit now. I've been meaning to, because I want to test that theory that they say Portland is a city of weird, and I live in
It is
Brooklyn,
a
New
city
York.
weird. Keep it weird.
Yeah, and I live in Brooklyn, New York, and I've seen some weird stuff on the trains. Like 2 years
Oh,
ago, I
you're not
saw.
ready yet, bro. You're not ready. But dude, I hope you do come out here one day. It'd be great.
Yeah, I just saw. I saw 2 years ago. I saw a woman. You can't make this up either. She had a guy was dressed as a poodle, and she was literally walking him into the train, and she
I've
fed
seen
him
that here.
treats.
I've seen that here.
And I'm like, wow, okay, New York, you're just breaking all records. I don't know, but either way, I'd definitely like to check out Portland. Y'all got a lot of great places over there. I'm a foodie. I'm definitely gonna be in several of those restaurants. Um, sorry, brunch box is no longer a thing, but I definitely want to try that voodoo donut. Definitely want to try it
Yeah,
out.
and then if you look at the abbreviation of the name, it comes out to dope. Which, if you know, like I'm a huge Simpsons fan. The Simpsons were taking place here. That's where the dude was from and written it. So it kind of ties into that. Plus the abbreviation is great because Oregon. It's Oregon.
Awesome, man. I'll definitely check out that I'll definitely check out that event.
Yeah, we
I'm
have
not.
two shows that we ran on there. One was a big ring show where we start the show off with a death match.
Mhm.
Uh, that show was amazing, and then we had our no ring show there. So yeah, definitely check those out. They're great shows to watch, and then get on
Yeah,
over and watch the DOA shows.
yeah. Send us the link. We'll definitely check it. I'm not even going to ask you who's going to be on that show because I already know it's going. See, that's for those y'all watching. That's the beauty of, and like I said, I'm not here kissing ass. I give credit where credit's due, like because I've witnessed it personally. That's the beauty of the West Coast Pacific Northwest wrestling scene, is that you don't even have to ask who's going to be on the show. You just go, and by the time you're done, you'll be like, wow, who is that person? They're phenomenal. My first time didn't even know they were on this show, and they kicked ass. They killed it. That's how great the scene is over there. So for those of
Yeah,
y'all
you're gonna.
watching,
I'm
check it out.
surprising Portland. I have a lot of local Portland wrestlers that haven't got to experience. They haven't done necessarily a deathmatch hardcore thing. So Portland is going to get to see some of their favorites doing some things that they've never seen before.
Awesome. I got two more questions before we shut this down. So you've been around the hardcore deathmatch scene. What are your top 5 hardcore matches that you wish, if you had a chance to go back in time and somehow get into it, that you wish you could have actually refereed?
That's hard.
From
That's extremely hard. Honestly, probably any of the old school ECW stuff.
Okay,
And then any of the Cage of
except Mass
Death.
Transit.
Yeah, I would have. Oh, I'd have done that match. That'd have been great. Um, I would say any of the Cage of Death matches from back in the day. That was all phenomenal.
Okay.
One match it's funny because it popped up today and I watched it again. But 2010, El Fantasmio versus Kevin Steen. If you haven't
Ooh,
seen that
okay.
little trailer that popped up earlier on the TikToks and everything, where those two went through hell in a battle of ladders and tables, I would have watched that. I want to be there.
Wow. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. If I was a referee for that mass transit match, I would have been like, "You big dummy,"
Oh yeah,
and
that
then
was
I would just
craziness.
walk out. I know he was an underage kid, but I'm sorry. But then again, yeah, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just a fan, but I respect the business, and I think there's just certain things you just don't do.
Yep.
So yeah. So, my last question, my last question, man. Um, so Brett Lauderdale started out as a referee.
Mhm.
And I was running GCW. Have you ever thought about, perhaps, branching out to, and I mean, Ted Long was a referee. He branched out to managing. You're essentially a promoter. Have you thought about branching out into anything else in professional wrestling? Outside those
No,
two roles, they're just gonna stick to what
my
you got
next
right now.
role is me. I want to be on the producing the show. That's my thing.
Cool.
I want to be the Triple H of like the WWE. That's my goal for what I want to do out.
Oh wow, awesome. That's cool, man. Honestly, I hope you get to that part, man. And
I mean,
when
with
you see,
having my show and then being in charge and kind of running the setups for all these shows, I love it. I love my job.
awesome. Well, I definitely hope you make all those, you meet those goals, and best believe when we see you, on the big screen, you guys get that TV deal. I'll be like, Bradley, man, we just had the man on the show, man. He did it.
Yeah,
He did it. He made his goals, and he's doing big things now, man. I like to see that, man. People work hard and get rewarded, especially when they're on our show. It's like, wow, like, I always tell Rob and Kathy this. I'm like, when I first told them, when we first started, we're like, we're gonna interview everybody. We don't care if they make it or not. You never know who's gonna be who in the near future. I mean, I shook Brett Lauderdale's hand 12 years ago, 13 years ago in New Jersey when he was a referee for Pro Wrestling Syndicate. And now he's the owner of one of the most successful promotions. I like saying the world because they go all over Japan, England,
yep,
rest of Europe, so you never know where somebody's going to be in this life. And that's why we do what we do here. If you go in that ring to put on a show for us, or even if you're one of the people that's helping run the show, we're going to want to talk to you.
absolutely.
We don't care. So that's just how we are. All right. So with that, I just got to say, man, before we shut this show down, Brad, thank you very much for, taking time out of your busy schedule to be back on our show. We really and truly appreciate it. You're always welcome here. Anybody else from PNW is always welcome here that's in the wrestling industry. We always enjoy talking to people from that side of the world, that side of the country, because they are just so awesome over there. Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out where your next appearances, purchase referee Bradley merchandise, or get tickets to your promotions so that they could see how y'all throw down in the ring over in Portland?
Absolutely. So you can find me at Referee Bradley on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I keep it the same everywhere. If you go to Brainbuster Tees, you can type in Bradley, pops up all kinds. There's all types of stuff. You got babies, I got onesies for you.
Okay.
You can then tickets for my show I will have them in my bio on all my pages as soon as they're ready.
Awesome. So y'all heard. Make sure you go ahead and cop that Brad Lee merch. Show some support.
Yeah, get you one of these. Please go get you one of these.
I might cop one of those myself. That was pretty nice, man. Yeah. See how that good how good that hat looks?
Yeah.
Go ahead and cop that Brad Lee merch. That way when he gets that big TV deal, or if Triple H is like, hey, I like that guy Brad Lee. His production is great. You know what? Let's go ahead and get him over here. Oh, Sean, you go make the call. I'm on it, Hunter. Just give me a second. And then you see him over in WWE standing next to the higher ups, and somebody's like, I'm sorry?
One day.
Yeah, one day. And when y'all see him actually standing next to those higher ups in WWE, you can be like, wow, I got the Bradley merch, man. I mean, I'm a real fan of that man. Like, he made it. It's always great to support somebody, in the beginning and during their journey. Trust me, it's definitely a great feeling. So make sure you go ahead and follow this man, cop the merch, check out, DOP, right?
DOA. Don't
My
own
bad.
anyone. Take out DOA. We're live on IWTV every month. You can check out PAL Pro Wrestling. You can check out Reactivate Pro Wrestling. Let's see, who else am I going to be at late next? You can see me at this Mania. I will be at Prestige. You can always watch. I'm at every Prestige show. You'll see me at Roseland. You'll see me in Vegas at Prestige. You'll see me at Pandemonium.
All right. That's awesome. I'm glad you got all those shows too, man. That shows how great your work is. That shows, the fact that you're on all those shows. You're that damn good at what you do, Brad. Keep the great
Appreciate it.
work, man. I know it's not easy. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and check out all those shows he just named. And if you can't make the shows personally, then guess what? Log on, tune in, and check out those shows. Even if you're on the East Coast. Now, I don't want to hear, oh, but I'm on the East Coast. So what if you're on the East Coast? That's nice. Check out what's on the West Coast. If you're on the West Coast, check out what's on the East Coast. And if you know what's going on both sides, check out what's going on in the Midwest, down south, and then all over the world. Because wrestling is different in many different places, and you never know where your next big superstar, whether it be AEW, WWE, may come from. So make sure you definitely check out, DOA. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling a bit. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. I was actually in Indianapolis for the Royal Rumble. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. Blue Sky at theremyblue.bsky.social. I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. And last but not least, for our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society. Twitch, Ringside Society 2019. Blue Sky is ringside.bsky.social. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on Spotify and Teespring, where we have official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, we have hoodies, we have coffee mugs. We have the Valentine's Day merch coming up. Valentine's Day is, next week. What better way to show how much you love professional wrestling than with a Ringside Society Valentine's Day merch T-shirt. And last but not least, we're also on YouTube, where you can see cool interviews like this one, like our season premiere that we had with the Brothers Gray and Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, Fire and Fury. You can find all those episodes on YouTube, and to see them, it's really simple. It's not rocket science. It's not even pre-algebra. Go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society. When you see that really good-looking dark blue and light blue yin-yang sound, the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos, because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1990. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give y'all a bit of a teaser right now. So tomorrow, apparently, we're going to be having a 15 minutes of fandom segment where we interview fans. Our special guest for that is going to be Tokyo Teresa. She's going to be on there. And that may change, but so far, that's what we're going to have on tomorrow. And Friday, we're going to be joining us. Like I said, we love to welcome people back. It's always good to catch up with our alumni. We're going to be having back as a tag team the Dark Passion Assassins. That's right. We're going to be having Dante Darko and Neji Ichiban all the way from the great state of Georgia with their manager Stella Randy. They'll be on our show this Friday at 7:00 p.m. So make sure you subscribe and check out that show as well. It's definitely coming up. And with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in tonight. Thank you very much. Really and truly appreciate it. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. We're not going to stop being that. To those of you that are going to listen when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And to those of you that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd stop what we're doing, just go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere. Or like myself at Voodoo Donut, we're not going anywhere for a while. And with that being said, we just want to let everybody know it's not a secret. To myself, Rob Bass, Kathy Knight, we all know everybody and their grandparents and the parents of a podcast. But we're not your We're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag, we are not the same. So with that being said, I'm going to say it right now. One time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the great wrestling scene of the Pacific Northwest, and one time for senior referee Brad Lee with the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. We'll be back tomorrow with another impressive guest, another impressive episode. But until then, We just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.